In the previous lesson, you might not have noticed, but the coefficient of the x squared term was always 1. In this lesson, we're going to look at what to do with trinomials that have a coefficient that's not 1, greater than 1. And the first step is always to just look for a GCF. That's the easiest type of factoring. So if you see in example 1, the coefficient of the x squared term is 5, but if we divide everything by 5, then it makes the polynomial a little easier to deal with. So everything divides by 5. I'll just put a big 5 underneath. And what happens is you'll get 5 times, right, because the GCF goes out front, x squared plus 3x plus 2. And so what you could do now is you could ignore the 5 and then just factor this trinomial using the double bubble technique. It would be x plus 2 times x plus 1. So sometimes a polynomial looks more complicated than it really is. But what do you do when there's no GCF, right? So that's what we're going to really focus on today. And the method that I like to use is this method where you split the middle. That's what I call it. I call it splitting the middle. So here are the steps. Follow along. And just like always, I'll show you and it will make more sense when we do some examples. Now remember, a trinomial is in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the form that we need for it to be factorable. And so the first thing that we're going to do is multiply the a and the c term. So that would be the coefficient of the x squared and the constant. Then you make a list of factor pairs of a times c. So similar to what we did in the last lesson where we made a list of factor pairs of the c value, but this we're going to make a list of pairs of a times c. Then, very similar to what we did before, you pick the pair that adds to the middle term. Then here's where the new part comes in. You're going to split the middle term into those two terms. Then you're going to factor the first half using the GCF. So you factor the first two terms, then you're going to factor the last two terms using the GCF as well. Now, if you've done it correctly, the terms in the parentheses should match. If they don't, either you did it wrong or you can't use this technique and you need another type of factoring. Then, one binomial is the one outside the parentheses, and the other binomial is the term inside the parentheses. And then you just want to make sure that you put your answer using the double bubble. Okay, so the first couple steps felt familiar, the last couple steps not so much. So let's incorporate them. So the first thing that we're going to do in example 2 is obviously we check for GCF, and I've already gotten the GCF out. So example 2, A and B, there is no GCF, but you should always check first. Then the next step is to find the factor pairs of A times C. So if it goes A, B, C, then A times C would be 12, right? 4 times 3. So we need a list of factor pairs of 12. So 1, 12, right? 2, 6. This is from last lesson. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look for the pair that adds to the middle term. So we want the pair that adds to 13. So that's going to be 112. But now here's what the new thing is. This 13 is now going to get broken apart into 1x plus 12x. And then you bring the other two parts down. So it would be 4x squared plus 1x and then plus 3 at the end. So I took the middle term, I broke it apart into the pair that I found, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor this first half, the first two terms, using the GCF method. So what is the GCF of 4x squared plus 1x, just these two terms only? It is 1x, or just x. So when I factor that, I get x times 4x plus 1. Now I'm going to do GCF for the second half. What is the GCF of 12x plus 3? It is 3. So I'm going to write positive 3, because that was a GCF, positive 3, times 4x plus 1. And so you see now what I meant by, if you've done it correctly, the terms in the parentheses should match. I got 4x plus 1 out of both pieces. Now I'm going to set up my double bubble. One bubble is going to be the things that were the GCFs. So that was x plus 3. And then the other bubble is the 4x plus 1. Now, people will say to me, how come you don't write 4x plus 1 twice? Because it showed up twice. And you can think of this second one as more of just like the checker. It's not really why, but you only write it once because one bubble is the GCF and the other bubble was what you got when you pulled the GCF out. All right, maybe we can try letter B a little faster as we get our rhythm in. So we're going to find factor pairs of A times C. So that would be positive 6. You do want to be careful whether it's a positive or negative, right? Here it was a positive times a positive. Here it was a positive times a positive. But if one of them is negative, you do need to pay attention to that. So I'm going to find factor pairs of 6. And, you know, it's 1, 6, negative 1, negative 6, 2, 3. You don't have to list them out if you can think of the pair in your head, and the pair that we need to pick is negative 1, negative 6. So I'm going to break that apart, negative 1x minus 6x, and then I'm going to bring the other parts down, 3x squared plus 2. Now we do the GCF of the first half. So the GCF of these two terms is what? Right? X. So you get x times 3x minus 1. And now we have to do the GCF of these two terms right here. What's the GCF of negative 6x plus 2? You might want to say 2, and you're partially correct. When the leading coefficient is negative, you make the GCF negative. You want to pull out the negative. So since I'm only looking at these two terms, my leading coefficient is negative. So you should probably write this down. When the leading coefficient is negative, your GCF is negative. So I'm going to pull out negative 2. So I'm going to write minus 2, and then I'm going to divide everything. That gives me positive 3x minus 1. So I just have to finish up by putting my answer in the double bubble format. So it's going to be x minus 2, because that was the things outside the parentheses, and then 3x minus 1. All right, I'm going to have you do example 3 and 4 on your own, but I just want to start you off for example 3 right now. So I just told you that you want to look for it to be negative. So if you notice, A times C is going to be negative 14, right? 2 times negative 7. So I want you to give it a shot. You're looking for factor pairs of negative 14. Pause the video and see how far you can go, and when you hit a roadblock or you're all done with example 3, press play. Here's what I have so far. I found that my pair was 2 and negative 7, so I replaced that using the splitting the middle technique, and I brought everything down. All right, then I did the GCFs, which were 2x and negative 7 because my leading coefficient was negative, factored it out, put it in the double bubble, and if you were wondering if there's a way that you can check, you can just go back and multiply these like we learned earlier this chapter, you know, FOIL, box, whatever you want to do, you should end up with that trinomial. All right, we're going to do the same thing for example 4. But what I want you to do here is before we do anything, I want you to factor out a negative 1 coefficient. Factoring is much easier when the leading coefficient is positive. That's why I told you that you should always pull out a negative. So here's what I want you to write. You're going to factor out negative 1. So we have negative 1 times 4x squared plus 8x minus 5. So we're just going to let the negative 1 hang out in the front for a while. And I want you to pretend like this is the trinomial that you're factoring, which it is. And I want you to go start to finish with this trinomial. Go. So that's the pair, and then I split the middle. Let's keep going. My GCFs were 2x and negative 1. So my final answer was 2x minus 1 and 2x plus 5. All right, I'm going to stop here now. I'm not going to do example 5 because the videos in this chapter, some of them have been kind of long, so I'm willing to say let's do example 5 in class. Let's cut this video here. You have the general understanding of how to split the middle, and if you have any questions, write them down and ask me when you come to class, and be prepared to do example 5 with me when we all meet.